When our mind is full of illusion, we cannot see it clearly. We don't know what to do next, how to solve the problem. And then we try our best to continue solving that problem. But the more we do it, the more we mess it up. Create more bad things. And then when you create more bad things, you get the results of that thing coming to you. And now you suffer again. And when you suffer again, you try, what can I do now to stop this thing? And you try your best to lock yourself in that room and then become anxiety and depression. And then you start to do some harmful thing for yourself again. After you have done that, now it comes to the result, it comes back to you again when you do harmful things. And then when it comes to the result comes to you, now that you suffer, you don't know what to do. They come back just circling around like that, non-stop. That is why we suffer. Once we have anything that is really terrible when we die in our life, it takes a really long time for us to stand with it. Is that right? Could be many years for us to stand up. After we stand up, it takes many more years for us to build again and again, start from zero. That's how bad it is, how terrible it is. And that is what we have been doing every day, every month, every year in our life. That's how simple we are. And that is the reason why when we know this mission, walk puppies, so much people come in knowledge of purpose because we need it so bad. It's not that you don't want peace, it's not that you don't want to have peace, but you don't know how to start, where to start. Why is that? It's because we've been too busy chasing the materials, chasing the outside world, busy thinking of this and that, trying to make more money for our God, for our family. We don't even have time to come back, the thing to look at ourselves to see, are we happy with this? When can I have some time to breathe? Your breath is with you all the time. But why we still ask when do I have time to breathe? It's because you want to breathe the way you expect of you, the way you think is different with what I want to tell you. Your breath is with you all the time. But you forgot it. We still are alive because of that breath is still going in and out. But similarly, we died a long time ago because we never paid attention to our breath. Just breathing in and out just like a robot. And our message is very simple. The key that I want to share with you is very simple. Just add awareness to that breath. Add awareness to that breath going in and that breath going out. That's all you need. One breath going in, you're aware of that breath going in. One breath going out, you're aware of that breath going out. Now that we pay attention to our breath, live with that. Instead of just breathe to survive, without knowing that you are breathing. You know, the more you breathe just to survive, how can we prepare ourselves for the moment where we have to fight for each and every breath for yourself, for your life? I went to the hospital. Many hospital incidents where I chant to support. There's times that I chant and then people pass away. Many times. There's times when I chant to support people. I have seen so much people just calling for help, crying and yelling out loud and asking for help. So much things like that. They are fighting for each and every breath. Imagine ourselves if we are in that condition. That is when we know that this breath is so important to us. And yet we are abandoned for sure. We take care. That is why just 1 month past of the year 2026, we still didn't have a peaceful life. A peaceful life. It's because we still get it out there, not in here. The walk for peace, when I started out, I expected, may I walk in this way. May I see the people who have the connections with me. May they slow down, stop for us, come back with me, see themselves, and breathe. That is where peace begins with them. That is the thing that I asked every day when I started out this walk with us. Just hoping that there will be people doing that. Just slow down, stop everything, looking at them while walking peacefully like that. That is when they actually look back to themselves and wondering, why do I have to risk myself every day like this? Why these monks, they are just walking, simply just walking, and they are so peaceful like that. I'm not praising about myself. But we all walk with mindfulness on each and every step. That is why we all walk for peace, to raise that awareness that has been with you for a very long time. And then it started out just like that. There were a couple of people who stood alongside the road and they were tears, crying. And then the audience just grow every single day, grow like this much. And thousands and thousands and 50,000 and 100,000 people just coming down with us like that. So I pointed all those out for us to understand. Peace is not out there, it's always in here. Always in here. If you can feel your heartbeat, if you know your breath going in and out, if you stay focused with your breath going in and out, peace will be with you. Regardless of what people say, what people do to you, if you still stay focused with that present moment without any reaction, peace will be with you. Doesn't matter when people push you. When people push you or bump into you, how do you react? Probably not in a nice way. Is that right? Don't be shy. Probably not going to be in a nice way. But if now you know that peace is very important for yourself, then you shouldn't react the way you used to be. Instead, just look back. When you look back, don't give them with eyes. Give them a smile. When you do well, are you okay? Check with them to see if you're okay. Right? That's how we respond. Otherwise, we can respond the way we used to be. And then we run into a fight with each other, and what happened? If you got into a fight, what happened? Three places for us to go: hospital, jail, and the third one, funeral. If you got into the fight, those are the three places for us to go. So instead of being no all those three places, we should go home peacefully. Is that right? Yes. We should go home peacefully so that your families can see you again. They needed you. And then when you go home, you give your families the saddest face and angry face. Because you've been holding that to that person and you drove home, and now you give it to your family. Is that what we should do? Yeah. No, of course not. If you decided to ask that person, are you okay? Maybe welcome that in a peaceful way, in a kind way. Then when you go home, drop into that jar a drop of water. Remember that? Yes. Drop in that jar one drop of water. However, it's your chances of that going on. Don't miss that opportunity. You have to thank that person. Without that person, you won't be able to have a chance to practice loving kindness, compassion, and patience. Is that right? Yes. So that person is our teacher. I learned that myself since day one when I ordained to become a monk. Learned with a lot of hard lessons. So many in my life when I ordained to become a monk. But I always tell myself, regardless of how people what to you, you always come back with love and kindness and compassion only. Nothing more than love and kindness and compassion. And learn how to be patient. Without patience, you cannot do anything in this world. If you want to become a doctor, you have to be patiently study and practice and all that. If you want to build this building, you have to be patiently work through it and go through all the building permits and take time to build this, right? You cannot rush. Same thing in our life. If you want to eat, you have to be patient to put all those food in the kitchen and wait for the right moment to eat. So patience is really needed also. Students, without patience, you will not be able to finish your schoolwork. You will not be able to make a good grade. And you will not be able to graduate if you are not patient. When you run out of patience, you only get stress, anxiety, and depression. Is that right, students? And so, for all of us to do this, to do peace, to have peace ourselves, now, we need to focus on our breath going in and out. The way it is naturally that goes our breath. When we breathe in, knowing the breath going in, breathe out, knowing the breath going out. Just this area right here of the nostril. In, out, in, out. Thought pop up. The thought that we brought into me earlier. Pop up. For example, you didn't react the way you should, which is kindness, but you react with anger. then that guy will pop up right away when you breathe in and out. In your head, it will pop up. Because that is so vivid and so new that you remember that face and remember that voice so vivid. Right? So that person popped up in your mind. And now that you think of all kind of things you want to revenge and you want to punish that person and you don't like that person at all, this mind is just sitting there and imagine more and more things. That's what I call confounding mind. Okay? So when all those popping up, instead of following that thought, now what we should do is acknowledge of that thought. Observe that thought and that thought is arising. Observe that, acknowledge that as thought, come back here. Come back to the breathing again. When we come back to the breathing in and out, another thought pops up. Acknowledge that, come back here. Keep acknowledging every thought that's popping up and come back to the breathing. And now we hear noise, we hear sound, any type of sound, any type of noise, acknowledge that. Observe that and acknowledge that, come back here. Sensation on our face, our body. Observe that sensation. Feelings, then come back here with the breathing. That's all we need to do. Just add awareness to it. That is how we train ourselves to have a concentration to come back to this present moment. Don't live with the past. Don't live with the future anymore. Live with this present moment right here, now. It's what we really need. It's what we are missing. Because we're not living in this present moment, that is why just for 1 month we cannot have a peaceful mind. Now we keep practicing patience and mindfulness. Anything happens around you, that won't bother you at all. Because anything happens, you know how to come back here. You know how to come back to this present moment, which is your breathing, your breath. Or anything happens around you, if you think that you cannot control your emotion, manage your emotion, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, that's it. Until you stay calm. Stay focused is something that we really need. Either student or those, when we go to work without focus, without concentration, it's very difficult for us to do it. We could do a lot of things, but nothing turned out great. Because we always multitask.
There is a profound stillness that exists beneath the chaotic surface of our lives. A quietude that we often sense but rarely know how to inhabit. We live in a world that celebrates movement, speed, and the relentless pursuit of the next milestone. Yet we often find ourselves feeling strangely immobile, stuck in cycles of anxiety and repetitive struggle. It is as if we are walking on a treadmill, exhausting ourselves, sweating, striving, but never actually arriving anywhere new. This paradox is central to the teachings of the Walk for Peace pilgrimage, a movement that uses the simple, rhythmic act of walking to remind us that the destination is not a place on a map, but a state of being. When we listen closely to the wisdom shared by Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara, we begin to understand that our struggles are not necessarily caused by the external world, but by the illusion cluttering our own minds. We try so hard to solve our problems, to shuffle the deck of our circumstances hoping for a better hand. But the more we frantically manipulate the pieces of our lives without clarity, the more we create new battles. It becomes a tragic cycle. We try to fix a mess. We create a bigger mess. We retreat in anxiety or depression. And then, in our pain, we lash out or harm ourselves, creating yet another wave of suffering. It is a loop that can consume days, months, or even years of our lives. A long time to understand that the fighting itself is the trap. To break this cycle, we must first recognize the fundamental distraction that keeps us trapped: our obsession with the future and the material world. We are a culture too busy chasing the materials, too busy curating an awesome exterior world while our interior world crumbles. We are constantly calculating, strategizing, and trying to secure more money or status for our families, believing that these things are the keys to safety and happiness. Yet, in this frantic race, we forget the most elemental tool for peace we possess: the breath. The Venerable reminds us with striking simplicity that we don't need to find time to breathe. The breath is already there. It has been with us since our first cry and will be with us until our last sigh. The fact that we even ask, "When can I have time to breathe?" reveals how deeply we have severed our connection to the present moment. We are breathing to survive, a mechanical, unconscious gasp for oxygen that keeps the biological machine running, but we are not living with the breath. There is a vast, life-altering distinction between merely surviving and inhabiting your life with awareness. The instruction offered is disarmingly simple, yet it is the hardest thing for the modern mind to do. Just add awareness. When the breath goes in, know it is going in. When it goes out, know it is going out. This is not a complex esoteric ritual. It is a return to the baseline of existence. By anchoring ourselves in the physical reality of the inhale and the exhale, we stop the shuffling of the mind. We stop the frantic mental time traveling between past regrets and future anxieties and land softly and safely in the now. This practice of conscious breathing is not just a relaxation technique. It is a recognition of the immense privilege of being alive. It is easy to take the breath for granted when we are healthy and distracted. But perspective shifts instantly when we stand at the threshold of life and death. The Venerable shares haunting recollections from hospitals, places where the veil between worlds is thin. He describes seeing people fighting for each and every prayer, crying out for just one more moment, one more chance to fill their lungs. When we witness the desperation of those who would give anything for the simple ability to breathe without struggle, our daily complaints about traffic, deadlines, or social slights suddenly seem incredibly trivial. We realize that we have been given a better life by default. Our bodies are functioning, our hearts are beating, and yet, we often treat this miracle with indifference. We let precious years, like the passing of 2026 mentioned in the teachings, slip by without true peace, simply because our heads are buried in illusions rather than lifted in gratitude. Understanding the fragility of life is not meant to scare us, but to wake us up. It creates a sense of urgency, not the frantic urgency of the rat race, but the sacred urgency of cherishing the present. If we truly understood the value of the breath, we wouldn't waste it on anger. We wouldn't waste it on petty resentments. We would treat every inhalation as a gift and every exhalation as an act of letting go. This internal shift towards gratitude and awareness inevitably transforms how we move through the external world. When we cultivate a quiet mind, we become like a calm grandeur in the midst of a storm. And this has a magnetic, almost startling effect on those around us. The Walk for Peace demonstrates this beautifully, as the monks walk slowly, deliberately, and with a smile. The frantic world around them is forced to pause. People stop their cars. They stand on the roadside. Some even weep. Why do they cry? They cry because the sight of genuine peace acts as a mirror. When a stressed, rushing, face-losing person encounters someone who has stepped out of the chaos, it highlights their own internal turmoil. They look at the peaceful walker and wonder, why do I have to lose my smile every day? Why is my life a constant battle when theirs is a gentle walk? The tears are a recognition of a lost part of themselves. We all have that peace buried within us. Jesus, Buddha, the kingdom of heaven, or simply, peace, is not out there. It is always in here. But we have covered it with layers of reaction and defensiveness. By walking our own path with mindfulness, whether that is literally walking down a street or metaphorically navigating our career, We offer a silent invitation to others to slow down. We don't need to preach to change the world. We just need to embody the peace we wish to see. When we stop fighting the moment, we give permission for those around us to lay down their armor as well. However, the world will not always respond to our peace with peace. We will inevitably encounter friction, people who push us, insult us, or rock us not in a nice way. The true test of mindfulness is not how we feel when sitting on a meditation cushion, but how we react when someone cuts us off in traffic or disrespects us at work. The instinctual, conditioned reaction is to fight back, to defend our ego, to escalate, but the Venerable offers a stark warning about where that road leads. He outlines the three destinations of unchecked conflict: the hospital, the jail, and the funeral. These are the physical manifestations of anger. If we engage in every fight invited to our doorstep, one of those three doors will eventually open for us. Mindfulness offers a fourth door, the door of compassion. The teaching suggests a radical shift in script. Instead of reacting with, "How dare you?" we are invited to look at the aggressor, smile, and ask, "Are you okay?" This question is a powerful disruptor. It shifts the dynamic from combat to connection. It acknowledges that happy people do not attack others. Aggression is a symptom of suffering. By checking in on their well-being, we protect our own peace and potentially heal a fracture in theirs. We stop the cycle of karma, the messing up mentioned earlier, right in its tracks. We choose to go home peacefully to our families rather than being carried away to a hospital or a cell. This leads us to the most sacred space of all, our home, and the energy we bring into it. Too often, we treat our homes as dumping grounds for the day's frustrations. We hold onto the anger from a rude customer or an unfair boss, carrying it like a burning coal in our hands, only to release it the moment we walk through our front door. We give our saddest face and angry face to the people who love us the most, the very people who need us to be their sanctuary. The teachings implore us to be mindful of this transition. If we have successfully navigated the world without exploding, by asking, "Are you okay?" and breathing through the tension, we can return home with a clear heart. We can add a drop of water to the jar of family happiness rather than a drop of poison. This requires immense patience. Patience is described not as passive waiting, but as an active, muscular spiritual strength. Just as a student needs patience to graduate, or a cook needs patience to prepare a meal, we need patience to build a life of love. If we rush, we ruin. If we run out of patience, we invite stress, anxiety, and depression back into our living rooms. Our difficult encounters during the day are not just annoyances, they are our teachers. They test our resolve and strengthen our capacity for patience, ensuring that when we finally sit down with our loved ones, we are truly there with them, not stuck in a mental replay of the day's conflicts. Ultimately, the journey to peace is a journey of mental hygiene, cleaning out the pop-ups of the mind. Our minds are like computers infected with malware, memories of insults, faces of enemies, and scenarios of revenge pop up vividly and relentlessly. The defiled mind wants to cling to these images, spinning stories of judgment and retaliation. The practice of mindfulness is the close window button. We acknowledge the thought, there is anger, there is a memory, and then, without judgment or engagement, we return our attention to the breath. We do this thousands of times. A sound happens, acknowledge it, return to the breath. A painful memory surfaces, acknowledge it, return to the breath. This is the training. It is the only way to clear the illusion and see reality. We cannot change the past, and we cannot control the future. The only place where life actually happens, where we can actually love, breathe, and smile, is right here, right now. By committing to this present moment, by adding awareness to the simple act of being, we step off the treadmill of suffering. We stop shuffling the deck. We simply breathe, walk, and in doing so, we become the peace the world is so desperately seeking.